Hello everybody. In this video, we're going to learn about logic nodes in VectorShift. Let's get into it. All right, so we're in VectorShift dashboard and I'm going to create a new pipeline. I'm going to create a new pipeline from scratch. Let's say we have a bunch of different knowledge bases and we want to pick the right knowledge base for every user question and not query the whole database because that's not really practical. So in the new pipeline, I'm going to add an input node and I'm going to add an OpenAI LLM node. For the system, this is going to be our system message. Let's read through. Your job is to determine the right path based on the record types provided for you. Check user queue, which is going to be this one, and choose the right path. And then we give it all the different record types. We have arrest, birth, court, etc., etc. And then we say only reply with the record types mentioned in user queue. So this is the initial LLM, helps us to see what the user message is about. In the prompt section, we give it user message equal double curly brace user queue double. You can name it whatever you want, guys. I'm just giving user queue because if you do like API integration and stuff, it's just a better way to it's a better naming convention than input underscore one or stuff like that. Anyways, so we give it the user message, and next step we would want to go to logic and add a condition node. So first condition would be, I'm going to call it type. So the response from this LLM is record type. I'm just going to call it type, and then equal, and then quotation marks is let's say death records. So make sure to put it in quotation marks. And so the type is the response of this previous LLM. And then we want to go to the proper LLM, which I'm going to call it death records. And let's add another condition, else if. I'm going to type 2, but this is still going to be the response. Like it's basically going to be the same message. But to type something like type 2 equal quotation mark, and let's say birth records. So this is a little typo in between birth records. And then we want to go to a different path. So each of these would be a path. Then we want to go to the corresponding path, which I'm going to call it the same, birth records. We can go on and on and on. We can have as many conditions as you want. Let me add another one, type 3 equal quotation, and then you type whatever it is. Let's see what we have here. Let's say like arrest records. Then quotation marks. Arrest records. Okay, and let's connect type 3 also to this LLM. So let's build the first path, death records. I'm going to grab another OpenAI LLM model. And by the way, for the model, for this one, let's go with GPT-4o mini, a light but smart model to determine what the message is about. For this one, let's go with GPT-4o latest. For the system, what I wrote is this. So you work for a company that assists people with questions about various record types across the US. Your expertise in this particular record type, death records for this one, right? And then we tell you have the access to knowledge base, da, da, da. One thing I'd like to emphasize here is, okay, in order to, I know you guys already know this, but to minimize / eliminate LLM hallucination, just make sure to tell it never make up answers, and if it was not found in the knowledge base, acknowledge that and tell the users you don't know the answer to that question, right? And we also tell it here, professionally, concisely, and accurately without fabricating information, and only respond from the provided knowledge base. I also like to go to its setting, lower the temperature, lower the top P, top probability, like temperature. The higher the value, the less predictable, sorry, the answers. Same with temperature. The lower the value, more reliable and less creative the answers. So let's also enable toxic input infiltration. People don't ask for nonsense and unrelated stuff. Let's leave the setting as it is. And for the prompt, we need to give it a few variables. One would be user message, which is the first message. So we call it user queue. Then it would be our knowledge base. I'm going to call that something like KB. Then we would need chat history. I'm calling it memory. Oops. And the last thing we need is record type. So this would be from the logic, from this node, basically, from condition node. Record type, type. And let's connect them to the right handles. So this is death record. So death records goes to type. User queue is the initial message. So user queue goes to user queue. For memory, we go to chat, chat memory. For a type, I'd like to set it up on message buffer and connect it to right here to memory. For the KB or our knowledge base, I'm going to knowledge base, knowledge. In another video, which I'm going to release soon, we're going to dive deeper just into knowledge base sections. It's just fascinating how VectorShift is innovating when it comes to building RAG chatbots. So I'm going to choose this URL CSV as a knowledge base for this particular LLM connected to the KB, and for query is the user queue. So this is the first path, basically. Let's also build the second path. Second path would be really similar. Another OpenAI system is basically the same. I'm just going to grab the same system message. One thing needs to be changed. So the second one is birth record. So here, instead of death, we have the other side of the spectrum, which is birth. These two implies each other. Sorry for getting philosophical and super unrelevant for a second, but we change it to birth records and basically leave the same as they are. Same, we can just grab the whole thing from the prompt section and paste it right in there. So you can have as many conditions as you want. Just to demonstrate, I'm going to with these two. So record type, type 2 birth records. Birth records goes to type. Memory, let's go to chat. Chat memory, message buffer, memory. User queue, let's go to the first node, user queue. And for the knowledge base, let's again go to knowledge base and let's grab a different knowledge base this time. So you can see how powerful the whole thing is. I'm going to this time go to with my Airtable integration, which I have built before. Knowledge base goes KB and query goes to user question. So I don't want to make this video super long. Let's move forward. I hope you got the sense of how it works. To move forward, let's go back to logic, merge. Let's merge all the answers. Response goes to this merge. And for an output, let's go to general and grab an output node and connect it to the output node. Let's run a test. If I click run pipeline on the type and I say, I have a question about birth records. Let's click run. So you can see the first LLM result is birth record. Then there is something off here. Let's see. Death records, birth records, arrest. So I didn't connect the third one, but it shouldn't be the problem. Um, you know what? I think the inconsistency in capitalization is causing this error. Let's see. Let's just run the same question one more time. So first LLM, perfect job, birth record, and boom, yeah, as you can see, guys. So I can access you with the birth record, and this is, so there's no response for this LLM. This was for death, and this one's for birth. This enables us to just build powerful RAG applications. Let's just deploy this and let's quickly go over export it as a chatbot. I'm going to make way more videos on VectorShift and explore every of these components. So with the chatbot, you can select one input, one output, and you just create chatbot. Once created, the amount of customization is unbelievable. You have so much freedom to configure the chatbot to make it look in the way you want. Feel free to explore. I'm not going to go over all of them, but the options are just incredible. So not only you can have a logo, like a welcome message, suggested messages, all those things, disclaimer message, and keep the chat open, turn off user feedback. Um, we can customize everything and enjoy the chatbot. I hope you guys found this video valuable. Thumbs up, subscribe. See you in the next one.